Our next speaker, Dr. Zayd, is a licensed naturopathic physician with advanced certifications in hyperbaric medicine, biooxydative medicine, low-level light therapy, chelation therapy, and environmental medicine. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Zayd to the stage. Dr. Zayd. Okay.
How many people have heard of hyperbaric oxygen therapy? Wow. I started my practice about 17, 18 years ago, and I remember I was doing a talk, one of my first big talks. There was 3,000 people, and I kid you not, there was probably about a dozen hands that went up. That was 18 years, well, that was in 1997, 98. And things have changed, but I'm glad to see that you guys are really educated, at least in knowing about hyperbaric chambers. This is what we use hyperbaric chambers for in hospitals, wound healing. This is a foot that's about to be amputated, and after 3 weeks of treatments, look what happens. After 6 weeks, full resolution. It was amazing when I first went into hyperbaric therapy and I saw this. And I asked, well, why aren't there, is it just the foot? What about other organs? What about the brain? What about this? It was mind-boggling that there was no chambers out in the industry. So I started and I learned a lot. And you know what I learned? I learned one thing. The human body is the doctor. And if you give the support, rest, nutrition, today you guys are here on detoxification, getting chemicals out of the body. Watch what happens. The body has an innate ability to heal. And when you support it, you can see the healing begin. So today, detoxification, those are two of my passions, hyperbaric and detox. Very quickly, it's a net mathematics. Reduce your exposure and eliminate more. Reduce this body burden that you're hearing more and more about. In our clinic, in our clinic, you'll see right at the top right hand, avoid, protect, mobilize, excrete. So avoid chemicals, protect the body from current and future exposures, mobilize, start moving those chemicals as we did talk, make sure that you're protected and you're working on the organs of elimination, especially the liver, and then recover from the damages. A lot of times, chemicals in the environment, inside the body, they affect the immune system, your hormonal system, and the central nervous system. And these are the diseases that we're seeing today. So recovery is critically important. For a four-pronged approach that we have is education, because that can affect all four of those. You can do a lot with education, as you just heard about in the last speaker, just even knowing what is in your foods, water, personal care products. Nutritional supplementation, supporting the body, especially the liver, for this detoxification program. Two things I'll talk about: mild hyperthermia therapy and hyperbaric oxygen for these processes. Mild hyperthermia therapy is heat. When we heat up the body, what happens? We get a fever, even 1 to 2 degrees. That affects the human body for mobilizing a lot of these chemicals and excreting. Your cardiac output increases, your heart's pumping. You're getting more blood to all organs, especially the liver. And then as you mobilize these chemicals, you can actually start moving from compartments from your fatty tissue to the blood. And as long as you're protected from the blood into those organs of elimination, the liver, the skin, the bowels, and the kidneys. And that's why I really do like mild hyperthermia therapy. We'll go through a few of these slides. Let's see. Sorry. Okay, here it is. So there's two techniques that I use for heating up the body. One is a mud bath. How many people have been in a mud bath before? That's it. Okay. I do it regularly. I used to be white. All right. No, but I do it regularly. I think it's a phenomenal thing. You just take a bath additive, put in your bathtub. If you put your hand in 115-degree hot water, you can burn or scald your skin. You put peat which is carbonized vegetable matter. We call it nature's mineral. You put it in your bathtub. You put your hand in. Won't burn. 115, tingle maybe, but that peat keeps that temperature up, drives that deep into deep fat, and now you get this really cool mobilization and excretion. So I love promoting mud baths, therapeutic mud baths. Make sure you're getting it from a clean source. Peat does represent the environment at the time of formation, so you want to be, again, not put more chemicals into the body. Another one that we use, how about saunas? Far infrared saunas, anyone here a sauna person? Okay, they're low heat saunas, a little more gentle than the mud baths. So I'll use them especially for maybe older people, even cardiac people. But that's a really good way to slowly start moving things out of the body. Clicker. This is a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. It's a very simple modality where what you're doing is going into a pressure vessel, and the greater the pressure, the greater oxygen dissolves in your body. A hyperbaric chamber is simply getting more oxygen into the body. You got gas pressure laws. If this is sea level, as you go down in pressure, the greater the pressure, the more oxygen, the more gas dissolves in fluids. It's a law called Henry's law. And that's what happens. This is probably the most important slide. You'll see in hyperbarics, you see this vial of blood. That's where you get more oxygen into the body. But it's not in the blood, or it is in the blood. When you spin down blood, you'll see red blood cells down here. Then you'll see this liquid called plasma. And in a hyperbaric chamber, the extra oxygen goes into the plasma. Remember that. These red blood cells, every red blood cells have hemoglobin, which carries 4 oxygen molecules. One red blood cell, believe it or not, has about 250 million hemoglobin. So that's 1 billion oxygen molecules in one red blood cell. If you take your pulse oximetry, you'll see about you're 97 to 99% full. Very, very efficient. So getting more oxygen in a hyperbaric chamber, you're getting into this plasma liquid. You see, that liquid can get to areas where red blood cells physically can't get into. As their size, as they go down capillaries, and start transferring their oxygen to metabolically active tissue, there's a slower speed, and that's where there's oxygen deficiency states that start being produced. So basically, if the big red blood cell is slowing down, if I filled up a room with liquid, that liquid goes well beyond and into the hallway, into other rooms, and that's how hyperbaric oxygen helps the body in inflammatory conditions and wounds and even the aging process. As you'll see, right here, there's fluid, there's liquid, there's not enough blood flow. And now they're in a hyperbaric chamber. The oxygen is in that plasma, that liquid, and who knows how to repair that foot? The human body does. It needs the energy. The slide that I passed through before that was energy you get from food, carbon, and oxygen actually combusts to make this high energy molecule called ATP, and that is the body's currency of energy, and that's how the body starts fixing itself there. These are the physiological benefits of hyperbaric. Just to let you guys know, I am the medical advisor for Obispo Hyperbaric Center here locally. I'll be in town for a couple of days, and we'll be doing a lecture tomorrow for the public and on Tuesday for doctors and health practitioners in the field. We'll be explaining a lot of these physiological benefits of improving energy levels, regenerating tissue, new blood vessels, new tissue, ameliorate inflammation, a very strong anti-inflammatory response when you're in a hyperbaric chamber. And one of the big things that we see is pain reduction, inflammatory-related pain. And it's strong in its pain-relieving effect. Recent research is also showing morphine-like effects on that as well. And improve and enhance the immune system. The immune system needs oxygen. The immune system, how it works is it takes oxygen, makes bleach and peroxide. They're oxygen radicals, and that's how it kills. We call it phagocytosis. The immune system kills through oxy radicals. So oxygen is very critical for immune functioning. And finally, enhance cellular protection. And this is important for today because when we're talking about environmental medicine and detoxification, protection is important. When you go in for this extra oxygenation, the body upregulates its antioxidant, endogenous antioxidant defenses, and that's a protection against all these chemicals. And I believe that's how a plasma oxygen gets in past the damages and regenerates tissue and blood vessels. And thank you guys very much.